name is Sam Ohaj.
And I'm John Matthews.
With Season 7 of GBTV's The Gameclock. Today is February 25th, 2020 as this recording is happening, so all sports may not be up to date. And your varsity news. NFA Wrestling is sending Jackson Murley to the state tournament this year, so congratulations to Jackson Murley on making it. Newburgh Swimming is also sending Lucas Samsonov to the swimming state title, so good luck to Lucas Samsonov. That's really all the varsity news. I mean, NFA basketball has their playoff game coming up this Wednesday, so that's going to be exciting. They're ranked number 2 in the state. They're looking to make some damage and win their first title since 2009.
State title, yeah.
Yeah, 2009. So it's going to be a great time for the Newburgh basketball team, obviously led by Coach Dino and Amari Tice, who's been having a career year so far. He's probably the best player on the team right now. No disrespect to anyone else on the team. I'm just saying that Amari takes the game to another level. Like, he's the focal point of the team, so congrats to him. And your MLB, NBA, and NFL news. The MLB spring training season begun, and obviously the big talk of the season has been the Houston Astros, or should I say the Houston Asterix. They cheated. Everyone's kind of annoyed with them. They're kind of all over the place, the Houston Astros, I would have to say. They don't really have an identity, I feel like, anymore, and people are just going to always boo them whenever they show up to any stadium besides their own. It's always just going to be a running joke now that they won the World Series by cheating and they didn't get any punishment whatsoever. Rob Manfred should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could say about the Astros that hasn't already been said. I think they might be the most hated team in all sports right now, as far as a whole, and that's pretty much all I could really add to that.
Yeah, it's an absolute joke for MLB baseball, and especially, like I said, with Rob Manfred. I mean, how do you just say, oh, it's all right, we warned them or whatever, and we knew that they were cheating in 2017? Like, if you knew they were cheating in 2017, why didn't you come out and say something about it? Like, that's a joke. You know how many teams got robbed of a chance to win a World Series? And I'm not saying that because I'm a Yankees fan, but just think about it. Like, the Yankees got screwed, and so did the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, they just showed the statistic. He threw 51 curveballs in Game 6 of the World Series at Houston. Not one Astro swung at them. So you tell me that. That's an absolute joke.
And it's Clayton Kershaw. I mean, he's fallen off, but that's 2 years ago where Clayton Kershaw was still considered a top 5 pitcher in the MLB.
That was because he was notorious for choking in the playoffs, but that was the career year he had when he just went
that's
off.
probably why he's notorious for choking in the playoffs. I mean, given he has some history, but like in the World Series when you need your ace pitcher the most and he comes out there and everybody knows the pitches that your ace pitcher is going to throw, you call upon that pitcher, you pay him the money for that type of time. Like, that's literally the time you need him the most. And he's predictable. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen this MLB season. I'm predicting that a lot of Astros are going to get thrown out this season, especially Jose Altuve. Can't stand that guy. He should be stripped of his MVP title. Anyway, in your NBA news, last night the Lakers held the tribute for Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant, as well as the other 7 victims of the tragic helicopter crash that occurred last January. It was a great event from what I saw. Obviously, Michael Jordan was crying, Shaq was crying, everyone was up in arms. They all talked about the greatness that Kobe Bryant brought into their lives and how, even though, as Michael Jordan quoted it, he was annoying, he was still his little brother, and he said that Kobe was one of the best things that's ever happened to him. So to see someone like the GOAT talk about Kobe Bryant in such a high way, who could also be considered one of the GOATs, it's a really great time in NBA, and it's awful that had to happen and occur, but Kobe's legacy is going to live on forever, and so is Gianna Bryant. So it's sad to see them where they are now, but their legacy and their impacts will continue to live on forever. So R.I.P. Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant, and as well as the 7 other victims. And your NFL news. There's not really much to say about the NFL. I mean, the Combine begins this Sunday coming up, February 28th. Joe Burrow jokingly around considered retirement after they measured his hands and he had 9-inch hands, and obviously scouts freak out if your hands are not the preferred size. So Joe Burrow said, all right, guys, I'm going to retire. Sorry about that. And obviously he was just joking. He's a clear-cut number 1 pick, but there is some controversy going around right now. He doesn't want to play for the Bengals, and honestly, I don't really blame him. That franchise is a joke to begin with. Their owner is notoriously cheap, doesn't bring in free agents. A.J. Green wants out. They don't have a great offensive line. They need a lot of help, the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's not really a great situation to go into if you're trying to be a rookie quarterback. I get it that obviously you want a year to sit, and maybe not everyone, but it's always good to sit a year and learn the system of the NFL and learn the season, and that way you get more adapt to it rather than be thrown into the fire. And that's a situation that Joe Burrow might be going into, so I could definitely see why him and his camp don't want to have any involvement in Cincinnati. In other news, the boxing match of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder occurred on Saturday. That was one of the best boxing matches I've seen. Part 2,
Yeah.
there's a lot of hype. The Gypsy King, Wilder, it was a great match.
Yeah, it was the heavyweight rematch that everybody's been looking forward to since last year when the two fought. And it was the lineal undefeated heavyweight champ against the reigning undefeated heavyweight champ. And I feel like the only thing we could predict was that there was definitely going to be fireworks, and like it definitely lived up to the hype. I mean, in my opinion, I definitely saw that coming, exactly what happened, and I feel like I was alone in my opinions, because I feel like the majority of everybody thought that Deontay Wilder was unbeatable, and well, he has probably the most insane knockout power since Mike Tyson himself, and Tyson Fury just shocked the world. He went out there, he showed everybody that I feel like his skills were just underrated, and no disrespect to Deontay Wilder, but I feel like he's nothing more than just an insane knockout artist, and Tyson Fury really exposed a lot of his faults the other night.
Yeah, obviously, too, it didn't really help with Deontay Wilder that he got his eardrum ruptured in the second round, so that obviously knocked off a lot of equilibrium. You started to see his legs shake towards the end of the second round and the third round, and that's when he started going down and getting back up, but Tyson Fury just kept laying the hammer on him.
Yeah, Tyson Fury definitely improved from the first fight with the amount of power punches he landed, and he was just, I feel like ever since that last round when he got up off the canvas in round 12 of the last fight, it was just a different Tyson Fury, and he brought that same energy into this fight. It's so almost like he had Deontay Wilder figured out before the fight even started, and he just brought that energy into from last fight into this fight, and he just dominated the whole fight.
Yeah, and then obviously the Deontay Wilder's crew had to throw the towel in the 7th round for a TKO, because, I mean, if they just kept putting him out here, he may have gotten killed or something.
Nah,
that's probably a little too extreme, but he obviously said that he wanted to stay out there and continue to boxing.
He wanted to go out on his shield, and I think they should have respected that, but then at the same time, you can't fault his crew for doing what they did. They're just protecting their guy, and I 100% respect that.
It actually came out today, too, that Deontay Wilder said that his 40-pound costume that he decided to wear before he walked into the ring, it was what had to do with his legs and making him shot. I think that's kind of an excuse, and you should just own that you got knocked out.
Yeah, he kept, at the end of the fight, he kept coming up with excuses and then saying, I don't have it, no excuses, but then he kept coming up with more excuses. It was kind of funny.
So Tyson Fury is now the undefeated champion, and he's looking to hold that title. He might box Anthony Joshua.
He added another belt to his collection. The WBC, that was evading him for most of his career since before he came out of retirement. And I feel like the next best fight for him would probably be Anthony Joshua or even Andy Ruiz. I mean, I think the Ruiz-Joshua fight, the rematch, is probably inevitable as well as the Wilder-Fury rematch. So I feel like for Fury, what's next would probably be Joshua. I feel like that's probably the best bet. And as far as money making, and I don't know, that spectacle would be crazy.
I would have to agree with you. I would say that we probably wouldn't see a Wilder-Fury rematch till at least 2021, maybe early 2022.
Yeah, well, Wilder has like, I think he has 30 days to accept the rematch right now. I mean, Fury offered him, so I don't know. I feel like he'd be dumb not to accept that.
Yeah, you know how much money they probably made on both of those two fights alone? They're making millions just for going out and being the main event. And especially when you're boxing in Las Vegas, like, that's some pretty baller status. So anyway, I'm Sam Ohaj.
And I'm John Matthews.
This is the Game Clock.